Let's get right into it. Every entrepreneur, everyone with a big idea is chasing success, right? You want massive growth, you want to scale up, you want to be a household name. But what if getting exactly what you want is the very thing that could completely destroy your business? I know, it sounds like a paradox, but it is a trap that has taken down so many promising companies.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. Is it possible that the more popular your idea becomes, the more danger you're actually in? We're going to look at how these amazing short-term wins can sometimes set you up for a total catastrophic failure just down the road.
Now, when I say sustainability, I want to be super clear. We're not talking about being eco-friendly here. In the world of business, sustainability is all about endurance, about longevity. It's really about answering one simple question. Once my business gets big, can it actually survive for the long haul? You know that classic image of a dog chasing a car. It's all about the thrill of the chase. But what happens if the dog actually catches it? What's the plan then? So many startups are exactly like that dog. They chase success so hard, they never stop and think about what happens when they get it and how the entire market will change because of them. And that brings us to our first cautionary tale. It's a company called Fixed. And this story is the perfect example of a startup that chased the car, caught it, and then got run over by a much, much bigger vehicle. The idea behind Fixed was honestly genius. It was so simple. You get a parking ticket, you just snap a picture of it with their app, and they handle everything. They go to court and contest it for you. Here's the kicker. If they win, you split the savings with them. If they lose, you pay absolutely nothing. For a user, it was a totally risk-free no-brainer. And man, did it work. Fixed blew up. It got incredibly popular. People were saving tons of money. But here's the giant, glaring problem they just didn't see coming. A city's revenue from parking tickets, well, that's not just pocket change. It is a major, major income stream. So the success of Fixed was a direct attack on the city's bottom line. So what do you think happened? Well, the cities, the giants in this story, they fought back. And they didn't try to compete, they just changed the rules of the game. They flat out banned the service. They even built systems to block Fixed from getting the public records they needed. And just like that, their entire business model was gone. Impossible. They poked the giant in the eye, and the giant just swatted them away like a fly. All right, let's move on to our next story. This one shows a totally different but just as deadly mistake: the incredible danger of building your entire business on a platform that you don't own and you definitely don't control. So let me introduce you to a company called BranchOut. Their whole idea was to build a professional network, kind of like LinkedIn, but do it entirely on top of the Facebook platform. See the difference? LinkedIn owned its own kingdom. BranchOut, well, they were just renting a room in Facebook's castle, and they had to live by the king's rules. And you know what? For a while, it was a spectacular success. At their peak, they grew to an unbelievable 30 million users. Just let that number sink in for a second. 30 million. They were hugely popular, they raised a ton of money. From the outside, it looked like they were on top of the world. But this is the fatal flaw of building on borrowed land. All it took was one single change. Facebook tweaked its platform rules about how apps could spread virally, which was the entire engine for BranchOut's growth. And overnight, that engine was shut off. The company with 30 million users, poof, gone. Okay, so let's check out our third scenario. What happens when your brilliant innovation is, well, just not quite innovative enough? This is the story of what happens when your success catches the eye of a huge established competitor who decides, hey, I want a piece of that. Do you remember the Pebble Watch? Back in 2012, it was the absolute darling of Kickstarter, a true innovator. They were the first ones to really nail the smartwatch. But their success didn't go unnoticed. In 2014, Apple announced the Apple Watch. And right after that, Motorola, Samsung, everybody, they all jumped in. All of a sudden, Pebble wasn't this unique game changer anymore. They were just another option in a super crowded market. And here's the lesson, and it is absolutely crucial. If your big advantage is just a feature or a small improvement on what's already out there, it is incredibly easy for a giant company, one with way more money, more customers, and a bigger brand, to just copy it. They can absorb your cool new thing right into their own product, and your head start, it vanishes. Okay, so after hearing all those horror stories, you might be feeling a little nervous. But look, the point of this isn't to scare you away from building something great. It's to arm you with the right questions. So let's pivot and talk about an actual, actionable framework I call the entrepreneur's sniff test. This is your strategic toolkit. It's simple. Before you go all in on an idea, you have to stop and ask yourself these three critical questions. 1. What happens if I actually win? Like fixed, is my success going to trigger a fatal reaction from a powerful player? 2. Am I building on borrowed land? Like branch out, could one little rule change just wipe me off the map? And 3, how will the big guys react? Like Pebble, is my idea something they can just copy and crush me with?
So let's end with a really smart, positive example. Everyone knows Uber. Their whole model is built on being a transport network carrier, or a TNC. In simple terms, that means they don't own the cars, which is how they avoid massive legal liabilities. Then along comes a company called Breeze. What do? They lease cars specifically to people who want to drive for Uber. The key here, the genius of it, is that Breeze is doing something that Uber itself cannot do. And that right there, that's the secret sauce. Breeze is safe because for Uber to compete with them, Uber would have to start owning and leasing cars themselves. And doing that would completely destroy their TNC legal status and open them up to all those liabilities they've worked so hard to avoid. So the best defense, the best moat for your business, isn't just something a big competitor can't do, it's something they won't do, because it goes against the very core of their own business model. So that is the ultimate sniff test. That's what it all comes down to. It's not just about having a great idea. It's not even about having an idea that can grow fast. The single most important question you as an entrepreneur can ask yourself is this: can your business actually survive its own success?